I thought I was making a video for you after the game last time. So I made a video at halftime just so I was at the peak of my anger and I just wanted to get it off my chest. So here's a quick couple seconds of that and then we'll get into our video, which is going to be a real quickie anyway. Where are the other, are we playing like a 4-1-6 defense? Where are the linebackers? Other than CJ Mosley, where are the linebackers? Every time a guy carries the ball, if he gets through the defensive line, which is 90% of the time, there's nobody there. It's a safety or a cornerback that come. Where are the linebackers? How does this happen? And how do you allow it to happen an entire half without even trying to do something different? Where are the linebackers? I truly don't understand this. Shaq Lawson, the one thing he prided, that was the big thing with Shaq Lawson, was he doesn't get to the quarterback, but he's excellent against the run. So we gave up what we had before, the other Lawson, who was rushing, a mad rusher, for a guy that, all right, he stops the run. And he's not there. I'm watching it and I'm like in shock. I don't understand how it happens. I don't understand. I don't understand. I've never seen a half of football like that in my entire life. It's an absolute embarrassment at a head coach who was a defensive coordinator for the 49ers. But it's the whole defense. That completed pass down to like the 7-yard line. We were like in some kind of weird, stupid prevent. There were 4 Jet defenders in a circle and 1 Colt receiver in the middle. And he caught the ball and he went down to the ground thinking he was going to get hit. And they just walked up and there was nobody near him. But there were 4 Jets right there. 2 plays, and you just hear the announcer go, whoa, there's nobody. No, oh my God, the hole's as big as an ocean. You hear that. It's every play. And if they make an adjustment now, and we don't see that in the second half, I'm going to be more pissed off. Because that's an adjustment you should make after one effing drive. Let's see what the second half brings. And there you have it. And I went off my blood pressure medication. Maybe I should be back on it. I don't know. I look a little red in the face. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. When I was 12 or 13 years old, I started watching Jet games. Haven't missed any Jet games since. Maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 5. I don't know. I don't remember ever missing watching a Jet game. In my late teenage years, once I got my driver's license, which back then was 17 years old, I got season tickets for the Jets. I had the last row at Shea Stadium. Last row. Top. To where you can turn your head around, look outside, look down, and I could look inside on the first week of the season. I can remember it fell when the U.S. Open was being played. And I could see inside into the U.S. Open stadium. I don't remember. I couldn't see the tennis players, but I could see the crowd, the upper deck part of the crowd, cheering, every time a point was made or whatever. I was there for the Bruce Harper game when he broke the record for most receptions. My point is, I've watched a lot of Jet games. Never in my entire life have I ever seen anything like that before. In any game, forget about the Jets, any game in my entire life. Now, have I seen teams rush for more yardage? Yes. Have I seen the Jets, rush for, several runners with over 100 yards? Yes. I remember that little run we had against the Miami Dolphins not too long ago. What was it, 5, 6, 8 years ago? Right? We were rushing for a couple 100 yards a game against the Dolphins. I just remember. I can remember watching games close to 300 yards rushing in the NFL. What I've never seen before is that plot of land that was open, where a receiver runs through the line in between, let's say, a guard and tackle. and there's nobody there. I know I kept saying that, but there's nothing else I can't think to say it any other way. There was just these gigantic plots of green, like The Sound of Music, where Julie Andrews was running through the fields. It was just, there was nobody there. There was no Colts. There were no Jets. I've never seen anything like it. If they rushed for 250 yards or whatever, and it was your typical, 18, 22, 14, 6 yards, 8 yards, 11 yards, and linebackers are making tackles, but too far upfield, and safeties are making tackles, and too far upfield, and all that. Yeah, that would drive me insane. This I never saw in my entire life. I never saw that much amount of green on my TV screen, ever. And yes, they did fix it a little bit in the second half, but the problem is when you give up a 70 or 80-yard touchdown run, it kind of throws all that down the crapper. And it couldn't be execution. It couldn't be player. It couldn't. It had to be coaching. It had to be coaching because there was nobody there. It wasn't like there was a linebacker there and he decided, oh man, I think the safety looks lonely. I'm going to go back and hang out with the safety. There was nobody there at the start of scrimmage because I started watching it in the second half. And the only difference is they had the linebackers on the line of scrimmage, but instead of whatever they were doing, either going upfield and rushing or going out into the flats, I don't know exactly what they were doing in the first half. I didn't see that yet. They had them cutting back into the line on a run play or an option play where they would be fooled, but at least they were cutting back into the gaps, but from near the line of scrimmage. It wasn't your typical 4-3. 4 guys on the line, 3 linebackers behind them. That never happened in the first half. That's the mind-boggling thing. Jaguars beat the Bills. So this is your perfect, it ain't going to be a roller coaster ride. Because the Jets are coming off that, and the Bills are coming off this. So something's got to give, and I think the favor for that would have to go probably to the Bills. Does that mean the Jets have 2 games in a row like this? No, my guess is probably, because it's the NFL, although the Jets really don't apply. The Jets will get one of those attaboys, pats on the back, but the Bills will win. The Bills will win. Their offense will look definitely better than it looked this week against Jacksonville. They ran the ball 9 times. If you take Josh Allen out of the equation, he ran the ball 5 or 6 times for 50 or 60 yards. They ran the ball 9 times today. 6 by one running back, 3 by another. Holy crap. The Bills, right? So I'm guessing it'll be a nice try, but no cigar game for the Jets. Figuring they don't get blown out. It won't be as bad as last week. But all that means is that next week it could be just as bad as it was this past week, because it looks like it's every other effing week. And that's all I got to say, guys. That's all I got to say. It all boils down to the rest of the season is what is going to happen with the quarterback play, What is going to happen this week with the quarterback play? What's going to happen going forward with the quarterback play? As I mentioned in the other video that I didn't send up to you guys is, if you looked at this past week, and if it was the stock market, Zach Wilson's stock went down. He has got to get his crap together now. Josh Johnson's stock went up, but not as much as you think it would be. Mike White's stock went down. And the reason I believe Mike White's stock went down is Josh Johnson went out there and kind of did it too. So the person's stock that went way up right now, to me, has to be LaFleur. That's the common ingredient to all this. And there's a shipload of pressure on Zach when he comes back now. Because not only did Mike White do it, Josh Johnson did it too. So Zach has got to come out and he's got to play ball. He's got to play ball, man. He has got to play some good football, smart football, And yes, of course, I still want to see what Mike White has to bring. But that luster wore off a tad when I was watching Josh Johnson firing some wonderful passes, man. And no, it wasn't all garbage time. I'm not buying anybody that says, I'm not buying that at all. Some of it was. Yeah, I agree. But still, if you're going to take what Moore did and be impressed with what Elijah Moore did, then you got to be pretty impressed with what Johnson did and what White did and what Zach hasn't done. So the pressure's on Zach. Let's see what happens. We'll know in the next couple of weeks.